Daniel Negreanu is looking down on 8-6 suited. Calacanis opens to $1,200 with pocket sevens. That raise is standard from middle position. It folds out trash and plays well post-flop. Negreanu flats with 8-6 of diamonds. He is not calling to hit a pair. He is buying position, playability, and high equity boards. This texture massively improves the caller's range relative to the raiser. The pre-flop opener still has all the overpairs, but the callers capture the lion's share of the strong draws and two-pair straight candidates. Negreanu's exact hand is near perfect. He leads $2,500 into two opponents, a small but purposeful stab that pressures ace-high and pocket eights through tens, while charging draws that he blocks and dominates.
Got a little some of that.
This card flips equity on its head. Calacanis spikes a set, but Negreanu's straight also arrives. Importantly, the new straight is very available from the caller's range. Any six often peels the flop, so Calacanis' set is strong but not invulnerable. Negreanu bets $7,000. That sizing accomplishes two things. First, it prints value immediately against one-pair overpairs that do not believe, and against sets that fear raising into a straight. Second, it continues to charge diamond draws that are now drawing thin versus a made straight. From a range standpoint, the flat is telling. He is unlikely to have an overpair without redraws to a full house that wants protection. The board pairs. Full houses become possible and, in fact, Calacanis improves from a set to sevens full of fours. Negreanu's straight loses equity versus the portion of Calacanis' range that slow played the turn with boats in mind. But many worse hands still exist.
This is reminiscent of a typical hand for Daniel Negreanu. Let's have the nuts with a redraw and see what happens. Let's pair the board, yeah. God, really? No, gotta be kidding me.
Guess that means you don't have the Jack-9 this time.
No, I had the nuts with a redraw. What'd you make it? How much?
35 more. Only 35 more.
Only 35 more. Why?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
What did you have like, you don't have a set, right? Because you would have raised me?
Yeah, I would have raised it the set. I could have flopped a straight.
Could have flopped straight. Okay, I can beat that. Whew.
I could be on a flush draw. Could be busted.
Yeah, that's true too. Fours and fives. No, I think you raised me.
Could have quads.
Yeah, you could have that too.
Could have aces and just be overplaying them.
I was gonna fold for sure, and now I'm thinking about calling you. So you're doing a good job if that's what you want.
Now I'm gonna be quiet and pretend that's not what I want. Tip the dealer $1,000. I will show it to you. You have to split it with the other dealer.
Oh, I guarantee.
That's a good deal.
So that's $1,000. You know what I have. You don't have to live and wait till the end of the.
There's the call.
Sorry, not in the hand.
He called it. Sevens.
Tony G is looking down on pocket threes. Pre-flop. This is Tony G doing Tony G things. Reynolds opens with ace-queen. The classic I probably have the best hand raise. Tony wakes up and decides his threes are not just a set mining hand, they are a leverage hand.
We'll re-raise.
He bumps it to 5,000. Not huge, but enough to isolate and make Reynolds play a big pot out of position.
Never been caught this much bluffing in probably, I don't know, 10 years. Like, in the last 2 weeks.
I have to call.
I understand. I want you to call.
It's a gentleman's call.
The flop comes a dream board for Reynolds, and a pretty miserable one for Tony. Top pair top kicker versus a tiny underpair with no club and no real backdoor plan. When Reynolds checks, he caps his range just enough for Tony to feel obligated to keep telling the story.
Qualifying on this board has to at least be a backdoor draw, so you have like 3-4 plus.
I do have a backdoor.
Backdoor wheel draw.
He calls.
I fold my hand right now.
The turn is the 3 of diamonds, and that single card flips the world upside down. Tony goes from hopelessly behind to stone crushing with bottom set.
Be wary.
The pot is already chunky. Reynolds checks a second time, and Tony now has every incentive to shovel money in while the board still belongs to the top pair player.
If you do call, I will check the river, don't worry. That's like the last bet that I just want to make sure I'm not in really bad shape.
Reynolds again only calls. With top pair, top kicker, and a redraw to improve, he is never folding.
Don't come out betting on me. Just check a dark.
I can't do all that dark stuff.
The river brings the 9 of clubs, completing the front door club flush. From Tony's perspective, this is the one card he did not want to see.
That's like a river now that I'm going to be struggled to be called on. But I'll still bet 30,000.
When Reynolds checks a third time, Tony has a choice: shut it down and hope to win at showdown, or bet thin, trusting that Reynolds has a one-pair hand too strong to fold, but not strong enough to raise.
Spread the pot, please. Man, Tony. You have to be value betting yourself.
Reynolds
here.
calls.
A set's good. Any set's good.
That's good.
You having a good time, Tone? Things working out for you?
But the river cost me a lot. I mean, I could have made a real pressure cooker there.
Keating is looking down at pocket tens. Pre-flop begins with Brandon making a loose open to 4,000 from early position holding 10-8. It is a splashy play, but with stacks this deep, implied odds often trump range charts. The action folds to Keating in the hijack with pocket tens. This is a pivotal moment. A standard textbook approach would be to 3-bet to isolate the weak opener and thin the field. However, Keating is playing a different game. He elects to just flat call, a deceptive move that disguises the strength of his hand and effectively invites the rest of the table to come along. The flop lands, a deceptively dangerous board that acts as a massive cooler funnel. It is the absolute dream scenario for Keating, who flops a full house, tens full of jacks. However, for Steve and Martin, it is a mirage.
Alan signature, I love it. Everybody plays their signature, so nobody plays Giaro. I can feel that now.
They both flop trips, but with terrible kickers. The action starts with a microscopic lead of 1,000 from Steve. This tiny bet effectively freezes the field, inducing calls from Martin and Brandon. When it gets to Keating, he raises to 25,000. He knows he has the board crushed and wants to start building a pot immediately.
That was interesting tank fold. I was really enjoying that. I was really enjoying that tank fold.
Wait a second, you're about to
I
get
didn't
another
know
one.
some plays tank fold sometimes.
How much is it? Sometimes.
I was thinking you play
I like the
snap folds or tank calls.
I like the tank
or
my
tank
time.
raises.
I tank fold all the time.
But tank folds, I really don't know what if it is your shtick.
Right, Steve calls?
Steve, you bet 1,000 and now you bet 25?
No, I didn't bet 25. Sorry, I called 25.
I should probably go all in now, but I will think about it.
Good luck. Martin, do you got my
Alan
purple
not happy
pills?
about that. Steve not happy about that. I just love this. I just love this.
Steve, refusing to believe his trips are no good, makes the call. Then the madness truly begins. Martin, sitting on bottom kicker trips, decides this is his moment and puts in a 3-bet to 69,000. It is a massive overplay in a multi-way pot, but he is convinced his jack is best. Keating smooth calls, setting the trap. This flat call is lethal. It convinces Steve that Keating might just have a draw or a 10.
If you call now, Steve, you are my new hero, I'm telling you. Alan was my hero, he will always be, but if you call...
Steve's all in. Just kidding.
Is it all in or not? How much is it about?
More than you.
It's almost 800K.
He shoves all in for a staggering 784,000. He effectively turns his mediocre trips into a bluff catcher against the nuts.
I put 69, yeah? He called and he goes for a little bit over top, yeah?
Steve and Martin played their hands as if they were holding the absolute nuts, failing to realize that in a 5-way limped pot, trip jacks with a 9 kicker is barely a bluff catcher. Keating simply had to wait for the aggressive players to donate their money to him and his boat, turning a standard set mining spot into one of the largest pots in televised poker history.
I love it. Alan, you definitely not play. This is not Giaro approved, this tank. I'm telling you.
I think I'd be both.
Huh?
I think I'd be both.
Beat? Okay, just put the money
all.
then.
All right, I call.
Can we play showdowns, guys? Just for spectators?
Twice.
Can we play showdowns?
2.1 million in the middle.
We show
Alan
the cards.
Keating, a
No,
2-1 favorite
You don't want to do that?
against the field.
But I would like to enjoy myself.
No, you're good. You're good.
What can you guys all have? King, queen of spades, somebody, right?
No.
So can we show the hands?
Yeah.
You okay?
I'm not showing my hand.
Oh my God.
That's a good call. But I probably win.
Gonna run it twice.
1 or 2 boards.
What? Two, twice.
I have little Casino Royale.
Come on, ace.
Ace or 9 for
That helped you
Steve.
guys.
Ace
White.
or 6
Ace.
for Martin.
Any card.
Any
helps.
card in the turn is going to
Literally anything.
Anything in the turn is going to improve me.
Ah, there's
Instead
my
it's a
3.
and Keating wins the first run out. Needs to dodge. Keating scoops.
Quite a few McLarens.
Keating's looking down on ace-queen offsuit. Peter comes along with ace-7 suited, a hand that plays fine multi-way but is easily dominated by Keating's calling range. Stanley takes the button with Jack-10, a classic position hand that realizes equity well against 3 opponents. Keating flats pre-flop with ace-queen from the small blind instead of squeezing. Out of position and deep, that call invites dominated aces and worse queens to continue while avoiding a bloated pot against a raiser who can 4-bet. The flop favors ranges that arrived by calling. Keating's ace-queen makes second pair with the best kicker and holds the key blocker to Broadway. His call versus the c-bet is standard. Raising turns his hand into a bluff catcher against stronger kings and sets while isolating himself versus better. Peter's call with ace-7 is thin but defensible. He has bottom pair, an overcard, and backdoor hearts, and he wants to keep his range uncapped for later streets. Stanley's call with Jack-10 is mandatory. He has the best improvement potential with the open-ender and position. The turn ace changes the incentive structure completely. Keating now holds aces and queens, and, out of position in a multi-way pot, checking is superior. Betting announces strength, repels worse, and makes it easy for a better ace like ace-king to play perfectly against him. By checking, he allows weaker aces and floats to fire or showdown worse. Peter quietly improves to 2-pair, and he should notice how clean his value targets are. Aces that didn't connect with the king or queen, plus stubborn kings that hate folding. But checking has logic too. He controls the pot and traffic and preserves bluffs for the river. Stanley's check is the costly one. With Jack-10, he owns the nuts on a paired board that still grants him clear value from top pairs and combo draws. Letting it check through surrenders value and protection, and it exposes him to exactly what happens next. The board pairs again, and his straight gets stone dead. The river double pairs the ace and reorders the hierarchy. Keating upgrades to aces full of queens, Peter lands on aces full of 7s, and Stanley is drawing thin to chatter.
And this is going to get very nasty for Peter. Maybe Stanley also, but especially Peter.
Checks from Keating and the original raiser are invitations. Peter accepts with a big bet that targets trip aces and missed draws and tries to dodge raises from the few better full houses. Stanley correctly folds once the ace pairs again, straights or dust. Keating's river decision should lean exploitative here. Against Peter, who routinely overplays strong 1-pair and boat combos, a value raise prince. Keating's hand is under-repped. He blocks the most common equal boat with the queen. Peter's turn check makes ace-king less likely, and Texas Mike is capped after check-check.
Did he just call? He just called.
Andy is looking down on ace-4 suited in a 3-way pot. Mariano raised to $500 with king-10 suited, and Charles 3-bet to $2,000.
Could we see a cold 4-bet? No, he's going to call, though. Mariano is going to 4-bet, though. Charles calls. Andy may be considering something.
Good call.
He just calls.
The pot is $27,000 pre-flop. They all have an equal chance for now. Let's see what the flop brings.
Oh, no! You gotta be kidding me!
Andy checks because he thinks he has the best hand. Mariano checks because he knows he has the best hand. And Charles checks because he knows he's drawing dead. The turn comes 3 of hearts, and it changes nothing for everyone.
Mariano, in a 4-bet pot, has flopped a straight flush. And Andy with the ace-high flush.
Mariano cannot check anymore with the straight flush and value bets $8,000. Charles understandably folds.
Mariano started this hand with about $300,000.
Andy raises to pot amount $35,000.
Imagine having a straight flush and getting raised.
The only way to get away from an ace-high flush is if the board pairs. In poker, the correct move doesn't always get you the win. Let's see how much Mariano is gonna bet here, and if Andy makes one of the greatest folds in poker history.
Mariano on the right side of your screen, right there, has flopped a straight flush in a 4-bet pot. $97,000 in the pot.
There's no way anyone is folding ace-high flush here.
Board does not pair, and Andy just bets $120,000. Mariano moves all in. Andy calls and shows him the ace. $611,000 pot, and Mariano can't believe it.